De quoi est-ce que vous allez nous parler ce matin?
Je vais parler de performance du point de vue de l'éducation,
Ok.
étant donné que je suis le représentant de l'éducation. And we decided to do half in English, moitié en français, so I'm going to switch.
Du franglais, c'est
What
parfait.
is performance from the education viewpoint? And that's the purpose of the 10 minutes I will try to take here. Then I'd like to take as a guideline our new executive program in digital transformation for business. And I think this is a good example on how we think, how we proceed at HEG here. So what is performance in education? Yes, we know, everybody knows, knowledge is going fast, we have to adapt, we have to react. This is also true for a higher level institution in education. So we do also have this kind of KPI, these kind of performance indicators, maybe not exactly the same as yours, but still. On top of that, universities should be ahead of the curve, right? Because we have to educate. So that gives an additional pressure. Then, what are our KPIs? Classical one, like you, budget, funding, fundraising, external funding. Number of customers, or let's say number of students, sorry. What else? Also more academic performance indicators. You heard about academic rankings. These are typical to our field of expertise. Employment rate. We like our students to find jobs eventually. And also more, let's say, intangible indicators, like how can we have an impact as a school, as an institution, on the academic sector in the region. So to do that, I'd like to share with you the HEG Golden Circle. So what I call the Golden Circle, which looks like a target, actually. This is who we are in terms of a university. We want to be a reference business school. We are in the applied management, very applied management. But if you look at this, what do you see in the middle? This is our mission, this is our strategic goal, excel in digital. Digital and excellence. And I think that's something that is important for us and that we need to share here. What are our tools to do that? We train, we connect, we guide people. Well, we're just teaching here, right? So this is our business, connection, training, and to do that we teach, we do research and consulting, and we try to do partnerships, like today, by mixing people from different perspectives. So, in the training section, last year, 2017, we created a new program in digital transformation, and I think that's important for today. We're talking about performance and digital, to share this mindset that we had when we create a new program. And what do we have in mind? Well, we would like people to perform. And when I say people, we like people to perform, and we like companies to perform. And this is the purpose of executive education for us. That's why when we design program at HEG, we say, okay, this has to be bottom-up, this has to be practical, this has to be close to the day-to-day business, because this is what you need, this is what people need today in the region here. And this is a program that is performance-driven. And what do I mean by that? We don't believe in digital just to do digital. We believe in digital for an answer to strategic objectives. So this is a strategy, this is a business that is driving, and the digital that has to be aligned with that. So we all agree that we live in a digital world, for the better or for the worse, that's another question. But that's a fact. And what does it mean? But we want to teach our students a couple of things. First, what does it mean digital? It means the technology aspect, yes. And that's what we call the hard part. Technology, yes, technology is going fast, IoT, AI, blockchain, and so on and so forth. This is the hard part. But we also want to emphasize the business aspect. And the business is hardest, actually. It's harder because here you need to be able to justify your digital transformation even if your business is doing well. That may not be that easy. You need to be able to promote innovation even if financially it doesn't make sense. And that requires to do an additional step here. And eventually, we want to bring our participant to something that I'm going to call how we're going to see the future, which is what's going to be the business in a couple of years. So to summarize, we based, and that's a program structure, but also a belief, that we have several dimensions. The horizontal dimension, which is the technology one, the hard one. The vertical dimension, which is the business one, which is harder, which is how to improve the performance of your company and your individual performance. And the diagonal one. The diagonal one is probably the hardest, which is how can you project into the future? How can you change the mindset, change the business models, change the way we are thinking right now? Practically, our belief is that everything is 360 in digital. So everything starts with orange in strategy. Digital has to be aligned with business strategy, and this is where the performance comes from. It goes from process. Yes, there are technological aspects. It goes to customer experience. Enhance the experience, get closer to your customers. This is the marketing part. It involves people. It involves people. At the end of the day, these are the people who are going to implement the change. These are the person who are going to do the transformation. And this is in economic framework in the Geneva region. We believe these 5 pillars cannot exist without each other. And that's why this is the right, for us, the right articulation when we talk about and we think about digital transformation. The skills we like to give our participant is to be able to have the 360 view, going from identifying the problem, implementing it, monitoring KPIs and impact, designing strategy, and so on and so forth. On top of that, we ask our participant, and I think that's a question I ask myself quite frequently, what is my digital maturity? And that's something that we make our participants think about in the sense that where is your company today and where should it be in 10 years? And reciprocally, where are you today and where should you be in 10 years as a professional and an individual? These are difficult questions. These are digital maturity questions. And I think the biggest question is, where do I start? It's may not be easy for everybody and for anybody, actually. So at the end of the day, we'd like to train digital leaders. So what do we mean by digital leaders? Not necessarily CEOs. HEG and HES in general has a responsibility and a mission to be close to the economic sector, close to the people working on the field. And what do we mean by digital leaders? Not the one at the top of the pyramid necessarily, but the one that will be initiating the transformation. The one that will be in the driver's seat, if I may. The driver's seat, the one that will be able to implement the thing from a bottom-up approach, but also be able to influence and try to change the digital and the company mindset. And that's the part of being the winner, being in the driver's seat. That's at least our objectives here. So what do we provide? We provide to our students 2 things, a plan and a map. Because if you want to start digital transformation from a perspective of an educational program, you need a plan. What are you going to do now, next, and after? And that can go from improve customer engagement, increase efficiency, talent management, and so on and so forth. And you need a map, because it will be easy to get lost. And this is clearly an illustration of how we can get lost, because the path is difficult. So people need a map, and this is the goal of our program in digital transformation, to guide people through this jungle of transformation and give them tools, because if I'm left in the jungle, I'd like to be equipped, right? So to conclude here, this is what I wanted to share today about our view of performance, but from education. And sorry, it's only education, but I think it is interesting to have this point of view. We believe that executive education is your leverage, my leverage, to increase my performance when I'm already a professional, but it's also a leverage for your company to increase its performance through the people. I would be happy to give you more info after, and I thank you for your attention.